So this came out last week, and I know that we're changing the show's format, and this is not going to help the whole "I'm not a furry" thing. But I got this game recommended to me called Rabbit and Steel, and I
Okay.
apologize because I am probably going to call it like Iron and Bunny and all kinds of like I'm going to get
I'm
the name
pretty
wrong
sure I
every time.
said
Rabbit,
Hell's Divers over and over again last time we talked about Hell Divers.
Hell's
So
Diver.
Hell's Divers.
Yeah,
So it's all right. You have permission to misspeak.
well, I appreciate that because it's going to happen either way. Yeah, Rabbit and Steel. It's a game that I tripped across. I think just got randomly recommended to me, and I am loving it. It's a it's kind of like an MMO simulator, right? It's just kind of like boss battle after boss battle after boss battle, and you do like old school RPG raid mechanics, like stand in the circle, stand outside of the circle, break the tether, stand next to your partner, stuff like that. So it's that in a roguelike shell. So you go through,
Okay.
you kill random bosses, and the whole thing is it's not so much about killing the boss because the bosses are it's kind of bullet helly.
Okay.
So I mean that's pretty standard, but the hard part is the raid mechanics. So like it's a four-player co-op game with online co-op as well. And as you're doing these fights, it's like, oh, well, now you have to stand in these numbered circles, or oh, now you have to stand next to your partner, or you'll hurt them, or you have to stand. Now you have to split up because there's going to drop an AOE on you, and it won't hurt you, but it'll hurt everyone around you. So it's like it just throws these mechanics after you over and over and over again that you're learning on the fly. And
Are you like reading the boss patterns, or is it like actually telling you like now do this, now do that?
it's sometimes both. It's
Okay.
mostly reading the boss patterns, but
Okay.
sometimes a more complex mechanic, it will say like there's one boss that it will freeze so you can't move for a couple seconds, and then it'll display a bunch of patterns on the screen basically, and it's like I'm going to drop AoEs on here in 10 seconds, but I'm not going to keep the reminder on screen. So
Ah,
you have to like,
okay.
okay, wait, I've memorized, okay, well, it's going to be this, that, and then it goes away and you continue the fight, and then 10 seconds later you're like, oh, I forgot completely about it, and you die. At
Yeah.
least that's been my experience.
That's
uh
pretty clever.
yeah,
Yeah. I
but
like that.
so I mean, it was described to me as very Final Fantasy 14-esque because I do see a lot of those. Like, and I would agree. I played a bunch of Final Fantasy 14, and a lot of these mechanics are the same in terms of like stand in the circle, flip your color or get the negative polarity next to the positive, or just like weird little stuff like that. But the game also explains absolutely nothing to you, so it
Mm,
really is. It feels like old school raiding for the first time. Of like, I'm gonna fight this thing, and I have no idea what's going on. And we're just going to panic and figure it out on the fly. And like the kind of like figuring that out with your teammates on the go, it makes a lot of these like really emergent moments that are really, really fun.
that sounds awesome.
And it's I actually hadn't heard of this developer before. I forget their name, unfortunately, and that's terrible for me.
We'll put in
I think
the
it's called Mina
comments or
Dev.
in the description.
Mina Dev, I think is her
You know?
Twitter or something like
Okay.
that. But yeah, it's a solo dev, and this is one of those things as an indie dev I think you'll appreciate. This is their second game, and their first game, it's like, and this is where again I'm terrible with names. It's like metal. It's very similar to this one. It's like metal
Metal
and
Cat.
spell. It's like metal and spell or something
Okay.
like that. And it looks very identical to this, but you can see how they took Rabbit and Steel, and it's the evolution of the previous game because
Right.
it's a lot of the same, like similar mechanics, but it's more bullet helly. A lot of very kind of like very similar mechanics. So like as an indie dev, I know that you appreciate like, hey, I made this one thing, and now I'm going to evolve it into something else for
Right.
a DLC or a sequel or even something maybe completely different, right?
Yeah.
Like you can definitely see that they are reusing a lot of either tech or mechanics or design, and I really like to see that and kind of compare the two. It's
Yeah.
it's neat.